Well, it's looking more and more like Elon Musk's $44 billion deal to buy Twitter is crumbling. For more on that, let's go to Tyler Orton from Business in Vancouver. Tyler, things getting a little ugly over the weekend.
Yeah, Elon Musk went on a bit of a tweet storm claiming that Twitter lawyers informed him that he had violated a non-disclosure agreement surrounding this acquisition deal. And you recall just a day earlier, he was saying that they were at least suggesting that maybe this deal was on hold due to concerns he had over fake accounts or what's otherwise known as bots. Now, it's all making people more and more skeptical about whether this $44 billion acquisition is actually going to happen. Questions haven't really stopped about how he's actually going to fund this deal. He sold off billions in Tesla shares, but not nearly enough to cover how much the cost of Twitter would be. And those institutional investors he's tapping, well, again, it's not nearly enough to cover how much this Twitter acquisition deal is going to cost. So some people, there's a little speculation that maybe this is all just a ploy to tap into that Tesla shares that maybe he just didn't want to be open about. So I promise you this is not going to be the last of this Twitter saga involving Elon Musk, at least for the near future.
No, he's still dominating a lot of those airways and a lot of our time. So let's move on from social media to ride sharing, because Lyft is partnering with a Vancouver startup to help fill some gaps. Tell us about this one.
Well, it's very interesting. Spare Labs, which is based here right in Vancouver, it is in this partnership with a number of transit agencies that will see Lyft, being tapped if there's, let's say some gaps with regards to your bus schedule. Maybe it's a busy commuting time, and these transit agencies across North America, they're monitoring real-time activity across these networks. And if there's no bus service in a far-out location, they'll be able to deploy some Lyft fleets over there and get people to where they're going. Spare Labs, it recently raised about $18 million from investors. And the reason why this technology is in such demand right now is that COVID-19 has really disrupted a lot of those traditional commuting habits that we saw prior to the pandemic. And there's a lot less certainty about how folks are getting around. This is why it's making it a lot easier to tap this made in BC technology for those kind of questionable periods of commuting time. So a lot more transit agencies are jumping on board. And now Lyft is partnering up with the company too, which is pretty cool for a made in BC company here.
Yeah, that's very cool indeed. Thank you, Tyler. Tyler Orton from Business in Vancouver.